Welcome back to Wake Up Abundant with Amber. We are doing our Overflow October series. We are on day 23. Today we're talking about careers that are not in alignment, that are slowly killing your soul. Pretty much. But before that, let's take some few breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Next one, inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Wonderful. I wouldn't call myself a career expert. I want to put a disclaimer here. I currently don't have kids. So I know when you have kids, it's a different level of responsibility that you have to deal with. So what I'm saying here, if you have kids, know that you can still do this plan. It might just take a little bit longer because you have to make sure that your funds are set up. But I will say that you shouldn't use your kids as an excuse to not pursue something different, because all you're going to do is teach them that their desires are not worthy of pursuing. So I want you to pursue your desires because it is worthy, and it will also teach those that you are raising that they are worth pursuing their dreams. Even if it takes a little bit longer, right? Maybe someone who's single can do it within a year or two, and maybe someone with kids might need a 5-year plan, exit plan, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're making moves. And I think that's really important to distinguish. Now, let's get into it. Careers are such a big part of overflow, especially financial overflow and stability and purpose. And I think sometimes we choose our careers a little too early when so much of our society has programmed us to choose a career in this specific trajectory when we didn't really even know what we liked or what we wanted. And then before you know it, you're paying rent or you're paying a mortgage and you're like, I need this career to survive. And you feel stuck. And you might have bosses that you don't like. You might have projects that you don't like. And you cannot get out of it. And you're constantly in insane stress, very high cortisol levels. And that impacts every part of your body. And that's not something that needs to be your reality. So what we want to do is, one, give ourselves permission to want something more, to want something different, to change careers, to pivot. And I know it's hard. I pivoted my business when it was at the ultimate highest level, or not highest, but it was getting there. The trajectory would have been there, right? The trajectory would have been a multi-6-figure business owner before I turned 32, which is crazy. But I felt stuck and I didn't want to just keep talking about the algorithm. It didn't feel right. I felt like I was meant for a different path. And it was sucking the soul out of me. And this reminded me of a time when I first graduated college and I was at a 9-to-5. And it was the same feeling, this feeling that everyone was waiting till 5 o'clock. It was in person. Everyone was waiting till 5 o'clock. Everyone was waiting for the weekend. It was this constant waiting. And I just remember thinking to myself, I don't want to wait for my life to start. I don't want that at all. And a series of events happened, and I decided to go travel and do all these things. Granted, I was much younger, so things were a lot simpler. I really had nothing to tie me down. But my recent pivot was much sooner, and I did have things to tie me down. I did have to think about things. I did have to have an exit plan, and I didn't have the best exit plan, but it was an exit plan. I had different jobs in between, as I was building this new version of my career, this version that I'm doing now, right? Teaching more on the mindfulness, on life design, on manifestation, on abundance, on the soul level integration, more of that life coaching energy that feels very fulfilling for me. While it took some years to get here, it took about 3 years to get here since that pivot, I'm grateful that I did it. I'm grateful that I started making my moves to get here. And while I'm not exactly where I want to be in this career just yet, the fact that I took the pivot and I made the moves, I know that in 2 or 3 years from now, I'm going to be even further in a career that I absolutely love, versus just continuously dragging my feet, continuously feeling like my soul is being ripped out of me. Like I don't have the energy to do anything because I was in a career that wasn't aligned with me any longer, even if it was at one point. I wanted to share my story just so that you know that when I say your career pivot, I don't mean you have to go quit your career right now. You can, but it can just be pursuing something on the side, starting to build something slowly, giving yourself another purpose that's not just your career. Finding a career that feels really good. Your career is going to take up most of your life. Might as well do something you really love. Might as well do something that lights you up. Even if it's a side portion of it, imagine if you did pursue it. Like imagine if things got better and you got to live out your dreams and at least you went for it. And you could always go to plan B, which is going back to where you were. But to be honest, you'll never be able to go to plan B because your life opens up opportunities for you when you take risks, when you take leaps. So I urge you to take that leap. I urge you to move forward. I'm going to read you one of the journal prompts. What's one small step that you could take to have a more fulfilling work life? Sit with that, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.